Welcome into Herman Brothers Field, where we have another great day for Alaska Baseball League action between the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and the Mat-Su Miners. The Pilots coming in today 12-14, and the Miners coming in 19-11 and atop of the ABL. This is Brad Walker, alongside me as Connor Mills will be on hand for today's contest, and a special day at Herman Brothers Field where it's GCI's day at the park, and they're celebrating the Special Olympians. So that was a pretty neat. All the Olympians stood out next to the Mat-Su Miners for the national anthem. So great to see them recognized for all their hard work and achievements this past summer. So we'll run through the Pilots opening lineup. Leading things off is the third baseman from Fresno State, Jordan Arruda, followed by the second baseman from Mount San Antonio College, Ryan Knowles, in the 3 spot. The University of Kentucky commit and left fielder Braden Daniel. Cleaning things up today out of Grand Canyon is the shortstop Mark Mumper, followed by the first baseman from Chaffey College, Aaron McCann. He's followed up by Eli Rollinson, the right fielder out of Bradley University. In the last 3 spots is Casey Opitz, the catcher from the University of Arkansas. In the 8-hole is the designated hitter Grant Parker from the University of Southern California. And in the 9 spot, the center fielder from Seattle University, Chase Wells. So that's your Anchorage Glacier Pilots starting 9. And they will be on to face the left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, Josh Haley. And Haley has some excellent numbers so far this season. Through 6 appearances, he started in 4 of them, has a 2-1 record in 29 and a third innings pitched, has a 1.53 ERA, which sits 4th best in the ABL, 24 strikeouts, and has only walked 7 batters in that amount of time. So, Connor, how are we feeling today?
We're feeling great, I mean, again, it was a disappointing loss yesterday, but we are home. We are in Palmer, and we are at Herman Brothers Field. So everything is right all right.
Yeah, it really is. And you just mentioned we're on the road. This is the Miners' first home game in 5 days, where they were just in Kenai taking on the Peninsula Oilers. The Miners went 3-2 in that series, lost the first and last game of the series, but in the middle 3, it was truly spectacular. Won some great games. That 4th game coming down to the wire, such as the 5th, but the Miners got the better of the Oilers in the 4th game, but then kind of flipped the page in that 5th game, the Oilers with the walk-off win. But today's a new team. It's a new day. We're at home, and they're facing the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, who have won 3 out of their past 4 road games. But the Miners have won 8 in a row at home, so they look to continue that streak. The Miners also ahead of the ABL, sitting at 19-11. The Pilots sit 4th in the ABL, 5 games behind the Mat-Su Miners at 12-14. So the Miners looking to continue this home success like they've been all season long. And it's been a quite windy day here, but overcast and 57 degrees. So that wind is blowing out towards right field. So for any lefties in the lineup for either team, being on the lookout for some home run balls, as quoted from assistant coach for the Miners, Tyler LeBron, said 9 home runs will be hit today. He believes his guys are going to hit 8 of them. I can't say that there'll be 9 home runs, but there's not a very likely chance.
Well, I mean, it's going to be exciting to see how Nick Brooks, new addition into the lineup, we just got him today, see how he can hit.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So Jordan Arruda, the left-handed hitting third baseman, steps up to the dish. Josh Haley winds and fires this first pitch as it's lined down the left field line. That's going to drop fair. Moving over to his right is Austin Pinarini. And Jordan Arruda gets this thing going with a bang, a leadoff double to begin this ball game. Jordan Arruda swinging on that first pitch, took the opposite side pitch and hit it the other way. So the defensive starters for the Miners goes as follows. The man behind the plate tonight, Aaron Walters. Over at third, Tyler Brosetti. The shortstop, Drew Swift. Second baseman, Caleb Van Blake. And over at first, Spencer Henson. In the outfield is left fielder Austin Pinarini. In center is Danny Wright. And over in right field is Josh Hatcher. So that's your defensive alignment for the Mat-Su Miners, as Haley will have to work from the stretch to begin this ball game. Second batter, Ryan Knowles, also a lefty out of Mount San Antonio College. Looks at a strike from Josh Haley. Nice breaking pitch as Arruda stands on second. He got things going with that leadoff double. So Haley's 0-1. Another bender, but nice job of Knowles waiting on it. He pokes one into right field. Hatcher receives it off the hop. And around third and scoring is Jordan Arruda. So the Anchorage Glacier Pilots coming out on fire. Back-to-back hits to begin the ball game. And they already lead this one 1-0.
Well, that was quick. A lot of first pitch, second pitch swing out of the Glacier Pilots, Maruda and Knowles, and it's paid off for them early in this game.
So that's Knowles' only second RBI of the season, but it does give the Pilots a 1-0 advantage so far over the Miners without any outs being recorded, as Braden Daniel steps to the dish from the right side, swings through a changeup for strike one. Daniel today has 26 hits and 90 at-bats, and his average sits fifth in the ABL at 289. He bounces one just inside the third base bag. That's going to roll all the way into left field. Austin Pinerini coming to make it. His throw in is non-time, and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots bats are on fire. 3 batters up and 3 with hits. Already there's been 1 run scored, so we have runners on first and second. Josh Haley still looking for that first out.
Well, the Pilots must have scouted Haley very well because they're hitting him early in the counts,
So Braden Daniel with his 8th double of the season. That is now tied for second in the ABL. As Mark Mumper steps to the dish, the right-handed hitting shortstop. His batting average .323, which is good for third best in the ABL, and that's already going to call a mound visit from Jeff Verlab, and that's not surprising. First 3 batters up, first 3 get hits. That's probably your pitching coach is going to want to talk to your pitcher.
Well, this is very uncharacteristic from Josh Haley. We're used to seeing him dominate the batters at the plate, getting his strikeouts and getting out of innings quickly. To already have 1 in and 2 in scoring position, something that Haley has not done all season.
And Josh Haley, it's not like he's coming on too much rest or too little rest. The last time he pitched was June 3rd. And for most collegiate pitchers, it's about a week, give or take a day or two. And then they're back on the mound. So Haley, nothing irregular about this start, a little chilly. But other than that, just the Pilots really doing a great job of hitting Haley right now. So they have runners on second and third, nobody out. They already have brought across a run. The score is 1-0 in the top of the first inning. Haley kicks and deals to Mumper. This time hits that outside edge for strike one. Mumper, we mentioned, with that third best ABL batting average at .323, also gets on base at .362 a clip. So he's down in the count 0-1. This fastball is hit high in the air into right center field. Moving over is Danny Wright. He calls off Hatcher. He makes the grab. His throw home as tagging and running was Knowles, but the throw came into third base. So Knowles will come in for the second run of the game thanks to a Mark Mumper sacrifice fly. So 2-0 already to begin. The Pilots jumping on Josh Haley, who we mentioned coming into tonight with the 4th best ERA in the ABL. But right now, sort of struggling right now on the mound. As Aaron McCann steps in, he bats from the left side, the first baseman. Haley's first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. And we've noticed these Pilots, they're not taking Haley deep into counts. They're swinging on either the first or second pitch. So Haley, from his torso, the 1-0, that is skied foul and out of play to the left side. So that moves the count to 1-1. We have 1 out here in the top of the first inning. The Pilots getting going early. They lead 2-0 as they've won 3 out of their past 4 road games. So Haley, from the stretch, he's been so ever since the first batter. And this one is dribbled foul over to the right side. So Josh Haley heading the count 1-2. This has been the longest at bat for Haley this game, as the Pilots really jumping on him early. McCann has not had a lot of success against the Miners. Only 2 hits and 12 at-bats. So Haley's 1-2, a big bender that misses high. The count will move to 2-2. So standing on second is Braden Daniel, as he had a RBI double. So Haley's 2-2 is on the way. This one, a one-hopper to Drew Swift, who goes to third. Bozetti applying the tag. It's in time for out number 2. Excellent play there from Drew Swift to no hesitationally throw over to third and get the out. And that just goes to show Drew Swift's IQ. Knew he had Braden Daniel beat, who surprisingly went to third, even though the ball was hit to short.
Yeah, anytime a ground ball is hit on the left side of the field and you're a runner on second base, you don't go. If it's hit on the right side towards second or first, then you take off and take third. But since this was hit to short, not a good base running play.
So Eli Rollinson will step in from the right side of the dish and look at a ball low and away, 1-0. So the Miners now with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. They lead 2-0 with Aaron McCann standing on first. He reached on the fielder's choice. And Josh Haley's second pitch to Rollinson misses inside. He's now fallen behind in the count, 2-0. So Haley kicks and fires. Nice breaking pitch that has Rollinson out in front of it. Count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Rollinson is batting 184 on the season. His last hit coming June 3rd. So just about a month ago, last time Rollinson got a hit. He chops one down the third base line. Bozetti cut it off, but it was called foul by home plate umpire Brad Polk. So Brad Polk will be calling the balls and strikes. Over at first base is Nate DeSantis, and over at third is Silas Drayden. That's your officiating crew tonight between this contest of the Pilots and the Miners. So the 2-2 is poked foul and out of play with 2 outs. So the Miners bullpen is up and standing. And there is a pitcher on the mound for the Miners just kind of going through the motions. There is no catch being played. So Haley, his 2-2 is on the way. Rollinson just barely gets the end of the bat on it.
Well, you mentioned the bullpen of the Miners earlier on in the game when all this was happening. They were standing up and kind of chanting, Josh Hatcher. Then they proceeded to go and Caleb Van Blake. So they're already cheering for their teammates, but down 2-0.
Yeah, they have to. Bit of a chilly day as the 2-2 fastball nails the inside corner for strike 3, but not before the Pilots get going early. They've scored 2 runs in this first inning, and the Miners will look to bring it back here in the bottom of the first on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field, where we see the Pilots' bats getting out absolutely on fire. They had 3 hits in the top of the first inning and brought across 2 runs, so they lead 2-0 here in the home half of the first inning. And the Mat-Su Miners bats go as follows, leading things off the catcher from Texas A&M, Aaron Walters, followed by the second baseman out of UC Davis, Caleb Van Blake. In the 3 spots, Spencer Henson, first baseman out of Oral Roberts, followed by the cleanup man and left fielder, Austin Pinarini, who hails from Gonzaga. In the 5 spot is right fielder Josh Hatcher out of Mississippi State. In the 6th hole is designated hitter Nick Brooks out of Gonzaga, and this is his first game in a Miners uniform this year. He did play for the Miners last year, as he's followed by the center fielder out of Southeast Missouri State, Danny Wright. In the 8th spot is third baseman out of the University of Nevada, Reno, Tyler Bozetti. Rounding things off in the 9 hole, shortstop Drew Swift out of Arizona State. So that's your Miners lineup, and they'll be facing right-hander Tyler McAllister, who's had 4 appearances on the season. 3 have been starts. His last appearance was a relief effort, so the first 3 were starts. Has a 0-0 record with, in 15 1/3 innings pitched, a 6.45 ERA with 17 strikeouts and has issued 13 walks. He was hit pretty hard in that last appearance, did not record it out, gave up 4 runs, all of them being earned off 2 hits and walked a couple. So trying to redeem himself in this game is Tyler McAllister, making his 4th start of the season, and it's going to be against a pretty tough Mat-Su Miners order, who is first in the ABL in average and 253. They also score the most runs with 142. So it looks like the first pitch at the bottom of the first inning is ready to be played, as the Miners will have to play comeback ball to begin this game. They trail 2-0 in their first game in 5 days. So Aaron Walters stands in from the left side of the dish. He's batting .280 this season, which is good for 7th in the ABL. With 13 RBIs and 5 walks, Walters just had himself a series down in Kenai. He went 10 of 18 and had 9 RBIs. So he went down to Kenai with 4, came out with 13. So definitely a hot hitter of late is Aaron Walters, as the first pitch from McAllister misses inside 1-0. So the Miners in home whites tonight with the green lettering and numbering with yellow trim, as Walters ropes one down the right field line. This one's going to go all the way to the wall. Rounding first, heading to second, Aaron Walters before Eli Rollinson can get it, and he'll stop there. So Aaron Walters, just like Jordan Arruda, gets things going with a leadoff double. And Aaron Walters, his hitting streak just continues now, has hit in the past 5 games, and really on an absolute tear, 11 out of his last 19 at-bats.
Walters has really been fun to watch over those last couple of games, and, the ball just seems to be line drive after line drive off his bat.
It really is. He's just, swing is down, timing is down, and anytime you get that, you're going to raise that batting average and really help out your team. So McAllister will work out of the stretch to Caleb Van Blake. He misses high, so the count moves to 1-0. And this is the first time in 18 games that the Miners have not let off with Kona Quiggle, as he is taking the day off, or has a day off, I should say. So a new leadoff man for the Miners, and it worked out quite well as Walters doubled. We're in the bottom of the first inning. The Miners trail 2-0, but have a runner in scoring position. Second pitch to Van Blake is popped in the air to the right side, moving all the way over from second base near the right field line, and making the catch is Ryan Knowles for out number 1. So the Pilots defense goes as follows. Man behind the plate tonight is Casey Oppitz. Over at third, Jordan Arruda. Shortstop, Mark Mumper. At second's Ryan Knowles, and over at first is Aaron McCann. In the outfield from left to right, Braden Daniel, Chase Wells, and Eli Rollinson. So with one out and a man on second, Spencer Henson steps to the dish. And he did not, unlike Walters, who stands on second, didn't quite have a great series. Went 5 of 23, did have 4 RBIs, however, in that 5-game stint. And also had the go-ahead hit in the top of the 9th inning to have the Miners win 5-4 back in Game 4. So McAllister's first pitch to Henson misses low, ball 1. Henson does have the second-best batting average in the ABL with a .344 batting average. He's also driven in 18 RBIs this season. So McAllister, from his chest, the 1-0. Henson swinging. This is a deep shot into left field, and this one is out of here. Spencer Henson with a 2-run bomb to tie this game up at 2 in the bottom of the first inning. Henson with his 3rd home run of the season, and the wind's blowing out to right, but Spencer Henson said, you know what? I'm going to hit it out to left.
That was a shot off the bat. No doubter from Spencer Henson. What a way to break out of that series in Kenai, and to start off things here at Herman Brothers. Bang!
So home sweet home it is for Spencer Henson, as all he needed to cure his hitting woes was to step back into Palmer, and he does just that with that 2-run home run. This game is now tied at 2 apiece. So Austin Pinarini will follow that up as McAllister misses low and away with the fastball. Count goes to 1-0.
I think that's a hard act to follow up right there. That's a shot right down 342.
It really was, as Pinarini looks at a strike, 1-1. So Henson did have the home run. We just mentioned 3rd of the season, now has 20 RBIs. That actually is tied for second now in the ABL with the man that is at the dish, who just looked at a ball. The count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Austin Pinarini and Henson are now tied at 20 ribbies and second in the ABL. So McAllister winds his 2-1. This one's lined into right field. Pinarini will keep the hit train alive, and he'll be on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Pinarini saw the pitch low and inside and took it just that way. So the Miners didn't start as hot as the Pilots did, but have had 2 hits in their past 3 at-bats, one of them being that 2-run home run, as we're tied up at 2. So Josh Hatcher will step to the plate from the left side as well. So McAllister will work from the stretch once again. Quick throw over to first. Pinarini dives back in time. Hatcher is 7 of 26 this season, has a .387 on-base percentage. And this is his first time facing the Pilots. So McAllister checks back over at first, but not in time. So Hatcher, one of the new faces on the Miners roster coming out of Mississippi State. looks to deliver big time and try to give the Miners a lead before heading into the second inning. McAllister's first pitch into Hasher has him swinging through, really fold him with that breaking pitch. Hatcher has had 2 RBIs in the past 3 out of 5 games. So he looks to drive in Pinarini right here. McAllister's 0-1. This one is roped into center field. Moving back is Chase Wells. Looking at it, he'll make the overhead catch for out number 2. So it seemed exciting off the bat, but center field is the deepest part to hit it at in any ballpark. And Wells did a nice job of chasing that one down. And with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the designated hitter, Nick Brooks, who was in a Mat-Su Miners uniform last year, has returned last season, batting .279 with 13 RBIs. And in this past spring at Gonzaga, batted .283 with a .355 on-base percentage. So he'll bat from the right side of the dish, the designated hitter today. His Gonzaga teammate Austin Pinarini still stands on first with 2 outs. And we're all tied up at 2 as McAllister delivers a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So Spencer Henson with that 2-run bomb a few batters ago tied this ball game at 2. What has been an exciting first inning. 4 runs have come across on 6 hits combined. So McAllister tries a slider, but it started on the outside part of the plate and then just kept going that way. So the count will be tied up at 1. Brooks won the home run derby last year for the Miners at the All-Star game as the 1-1. Nice breaker that nails the outside part of the plate. He's fallen behind 1-2. So the Miners currently leading this season series 6-2, and they've won the past 4 matchups. So after splitting the first 4 games, the Miners have really pulled away. As this 1-2 is just dribbled down the first base line, grabbing it is McAllister, and a real soft throw over to first is in time, and McAllister is down. Didn't quite see what happened. And we'll take a break while McAllister recovers. This game's tied up at 2, heading into the second inning on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miner Radio.
So after an exciting first inning where we saw 4 runs and 6 hits combined, we're all tied up at 2 heading into this second inning. Rollinson, Opitz, and Parker due up for the Pilots. And a little update from what just happened on that last play. McAllister seemed to have a leg injury, was tending to that on his walk back. So he did walk back under his own power and would look to be a very scary injury on his throw to first, on which was sort of a dark way to end such an exciting first inning. So wish the best for Tyler McAllister and hope he is going to be all right. As Haley's first pitch hits the inside corner to the right-handed hitting Eli Rollinson. Right field out of Bradley University. Only 9 hits and 49 at-bats this season. So the second pitch is a fastball that misses high from Haley. So 1-1 as the Pilots bounce pounced on Haley right away to begin this ball game. Is rather Casey Opitz grounds it over to second base, throws over to first for out, and Van Blake throws over to first for out number 1. So Grant Parker due up, as it's Opitz, Parker, and Wells the first 3 in this inning. I apologize for that. Rawlinson went down swinging for out number 3. So Parker stands into the dish with 1 down here in the top of the first inning, all tied up at 2. Haley, a fastball on the inside part of the plate to the right-handed hitting Grant Parker. He comes in only 2 hits so far in the season and 42 at-bats, so not having the best campaign in the summer, as Haley misses inside 1-1. And actually did get a hit yesterday against the Chinooks, where he went 1 for 3. So the 1-1, an off-speed that has Parker swinging through. Before that, his only hit was on June 9th. So a month to the date was the last time Parker had his first hit. And he swings through for strike 3. So Josh Haley, after struggling through the first few batters in inning number 1, sets down the first 2 Pilot hitters. This time on a strikeout, so his second of the day. And Chase Wells, the 9 batters, due up for the Pilots.
And after he gave up those runs in the second, I kind of read his body language. He wasn't worried. You know, he knew he still had to dial in, give the Miners some innings, and that's what he's looking to do now.
As he delivers a fastball outside for strike 1. And that's exactly it. You have a game plan, and you follow it until it gets totally out of control. 2 runs is just not out of control. If he gives up 2 runs in the 4th inning, you're not worried. It's just in the first inning, it's a little more exciting because it's the beginning of the ball game. So Chase Wells is now down on the count 0-2 after fouling 1 back. Josh Haley will take a step off the rubber to have Walters run through the signals. He's ready. He winds and deals. Just misses outside. That's for ball number 1. Drew Swift taking a big hop in. Sort of that whole Miners defense is backing up now after
everybody
taking
took a
step in. 1-2 is a fastball that misses low and away. Counts now tied up at 2. Chase Wells is only batting 167. 5 hits in 30 at-bats. Is 0 for 2 so far against the Miners, so just the second time seeing them this season. Haley's 2-2 on the way and gets Wells to swing through. So Josh Haley sets down the Pilots 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. And when we come back, we're all tied up at 2 on Mat-Su Miners Radio.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
So the Pilots will have a new pitcher on the mound in right-hander Cody Kerfman. He comes in relief of Tyler McAllister, who exited this ball game with a leg injury, which seems severe. He went down after his throw to first off Nick Brooks's little ground ball. So Kerfman comes in, the right-hander. He's appeared in 7 games, has not started in any of them, and in 13 and a third innings has 4 strikeouts, 5 walks, a 1-1 record with a 2.02 ERA. He just appeared 3 days ago against the Chinooks, where he went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits and no runs. So he replaces McAllister, who through 1 inning of work gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, all earned, did not walk anyone, and did not record a strikeout as well. So Cody Kerfman hails from Anchorage, Alaska, by way of Mount Hood Community College. So he'll be on to face the final 3 of the Miners hitters in their lineup. In Wright, Bozetti, and Swift. So Danny Wright stands in, playing center today. A switch hitter, so he'll bat from the left side. Danny Wright, another one of those guys that had a good series down in Kenai. 5 for 18 on the road trip. So definitely an excellent outing, and now has raised his batting average up to 269. So Kerfman, a big breaking ball for strike one to begin the bottom of the second inning, all tied up at 2. So Kerfman, a quick wind, and then a two-seamer that misses high and away for ball 1. So Danny Wright, who has been really tearing up the Pilots this season, 8 hits and 20 at-bats, has also driven in 3 runs. As he lifts one in the air to right, moving in is Eli Rollinson, loses his cap and makes the catch for out number 1. So that wind definitely showed right there, as where Rollinson not really speeding in, but that wind's still going to take his cap off.
Yeah, the wind is blowing out into right field, and I know we saw a big home run from a righty, but we should expect some home runs coming from the lefties as well.
Indeed, as the Miners have a lot of power guys that bat from the left side of the dish. So Tyler Bozetti will step in, the right-handed hitting third baseman, and look at a fastball for strike 1. Bozetti comes into tonight batting .228, but a .343 on base percentage. Doing a nice job of, may not be getting the hits, but still reaching base. He looks at a ball in the dirt, 1-1, with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Pilots and Miners are tied up at 2. As the Pilots come in with the 4th best ERA, as Bozetti ropes one down the third base line. Aruda can't handle it, and it'll wiggle into left field. And Tyler Bozetti is on with a 1-out single. An absolute shot down the third base line to Aruda. That was a tough one to handle. Couldn't quite get the glove down in time. So Bozetti reaches for his 22nd hit of the season. And Drew Swift will step to the dish. The right-handed Arizona State Sun Devil, playing shortstop and has played in every single game now for the Mat-Su Miners. So a real durable player, Drew Swift is. Very fast as well. So the first pitch to Drew Swift misses in the dirt, but Opitz does a nice job of blocking it. So Swifty, he also played well in that series, 4 of 17, had a couple of ribbies down in Kenai to raise his RBI total up to 12. So he is one of 5 players for the Miners to have 10-plus RBIs, as this two-seamer from Kerfman misses high and inside around the numbers. Lettering, I should say. So 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. We're tied at 2 here at Herman Brothers Field. Tyler Bozetti stands on first after just getting a base hit. Kerfman from the stretch. A snap throw down to first after the fastball was delivered for a strike, but not in time. So Drew Swift, who has 6 doubles on this team, a really big double hitting team the Miners are. As we mentioned, first in batting average with a .253 clip, and have reached base for an ABL leading .342 coming into tonight. As a hit and run is on, this one is bounced right up the middle. Moving over to his right, stepping on the bag was Ryan Knowles, and then his throw over to first in time for out number 3. So the hit and run works against the Miners. And after seeing 4 runs come across from both teams, they both go down in order in inning number 2. So we head into the 3rd inning of play, tied up at 2 on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Minor Radio.
Score is tied at 2 as we enter the 3rd inning here at Herman Brothers Field. Josh Haley on for his third inning of work. The lefty, after getting rattled back in the first inning, came back last inning and set the Pilots down in order. So we'll see the top of the lineup once again for the Pilots as Jordan Arruda steps to the dish from the left side. He really got things going with the leadoff double as he was first pitch swinging. So first pitch of the game we saw roped for a double. And it is celebrating the Special Olympians here at Herman Brothers Field. And the ways to donate to the Special Olympics of Alaska is donate by phone at 1-800-380-3071. By mail, Special Olympics Alaska, 3200 Mountain View Drive, Anchorage, Alaska, postal code 99501. And donate online at specialolympicsalaska.org. So Haley's first pitch of the third inning is fouled to the left side and out of play. So this first pitch going a little better opposed to last time Haley's first pitch went to Arruda.
Well, the last first pitch went into deep left field, so of course.
So the 0-1 from Haley misses low and inside. The counts move to 1-1, and this Pilots team has been on fire from the plate of late, batting .312 in their past week with a 372 on base percentage and have brought across 40 runs. As Haley misses inside, count goes to 2-1. And in the past 6 games, they've scored 45 runs with 46 hits in those games. So this Pilots team, they may be 4th in the ABL and 5 games back, but definitely on a tear. So Haley ties the count up at 2. Now his 2-2 pitch. This one is dribbled over to second. Van Blake swallows it, throws to first for out number 1. So Josh Haley now has retired 4 batters in a row. And Ryan Knowles steps to the dish. He got an RBI single back in the first inning to drive in this game's first run. And Knowles now 5 of 13 against the Miners. So he's seeing Miners pitching well. Josh Haley seems to be settling into a bit of a groove right now. So he winds and deals. Nice fastball looked at by Knowles. The counts move to 0-1. Knowles is on a 4-game hit streak, now 5, and is now 7 of his last 15 with 2 RBIs. He looks at another strike. He's down in the count, currently 0-2. Haley's 0-2. This one a high chopper over to first base. Henson grabs it and taps first the base bag for out number 2. We have 2 outs in the top of the third inning. The Miners and Pilots are tied at 2. And Braden Daniel will step to the plate. The switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty Haley. And the Miners pitching the past series went 44 and a third innings pitched as Haley misses low with a fastball 1-0. 44 and a third innings with the 3.67 ERA. Struck out 28 batters, so not great, but not awful as well. As this 1-0 pitch misses low 2-0. But it was effective. The Miners winning 3 out of the 5 games in Kenai and extended their lead now to 3 games over the Oilers. And ahead of the ABL is all you want here during the summer. Haley winds and delivers the 2-0. Nails the inside part of the zone. The counts move to 2-1. Daniel also with an RBI hit. It came from a double back in that first inning to give the Pilots 2 runs. This one is just dribbled over to second. Moving up is Caleb Van Blake, who makes the throw on the run for out number 3. So Josh Haley has retired the past 6 batters for the Pilots, and the Miners are still tied with the Pilots at 2, heading into the bottom half of the third inning on Mat-Su Miner Radio.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miner's internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miner's jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Score still tied at 2 as we head into this home half of the third inning. The Miners will have the top of their order up as well. So Walters, Van Blake, and Henson due up. And they'll still face Cody Kerfman, who's on for second inning of relief work. So the Pilots, if things go south, may have to go through a lot of arms today. And the Miners, this is their first home game in 5 days, but they have won 8 in a row at Herman Brothers Field as they've been on fire. And speaking of a man who's been on fire, Aaron Walters steps to the dish. He led things off for the Miners with a double back in the first inning. His 9th double of the season. He is now by himself in second place. So Walters steps from the left side of the dish. He got that double off McAllister. So seeing Kerfman, he wanted to check his swing, but then couldn't quite stop himself from doing so. So we'll swing through for strike 1. So Kerfman looking in. His second pitch to Walters is looked at for a ball in the dirt. 1-1. So the Miners now have scored in the first 3 innings 22 times out of 30 games. So only 8 times that they have been shut down scoreless in the first 3. So the 1-1 pitch on its way from Kerfman. Walters looks at it high and away for a ball. 2-1. In the past week, the Miners have been batting well themselves, batting .281 with a .368 on base percentage. Have drawn across 38 runs. Walters is swinging at this 2-1 pitch. It's fouled off to the left side. So the count is tied up at 2. And Walters, it was surprising, not doing too well against the Pilots pitching. Came in with batting 2 for his last 21 at-bats and only 2 RBIs as he digs that one out to foul it off over to the right side. So he'll stay alive at 2-2. So he came around to score the game's first run and is now on a 6-game hit streak. So Aaron Walters really seeing the ball well. The 2-2 pitch. This one is lined over to second, takes a huge hop, but Knowles does a nice job of handling it, and then we'll throw over to first for out number 1 of the bottom of the third inning. So Caleb Van Blake, who was retired back in the first inning with a fly out to Ryan Knowles at second, steps to the dish, and Van Blake isn't doing too well against the Pilots, only 3 of 9. Does have an RBI, however, against the Glacier Pilots. So he steps in from the left side of the dish. So Kerfman's first pitch to Van Blake is a breaking pitch that hits the inside part of the zone. 0-1. So Kerfman's 0-1 on its way. Van Blake with a warm burner over to second, ranging to his left and throwing to first for out number 2 is the second baseman Ryan Knowles. So back-to-back 4-3 putouts for the Pilots as Spencer Henson steps to the plate. He brought the lumber in his first at-bat, drove it over that left field wall to tie this game up at 2. This time there's no one on for him, as Henson now with 20 RBIs and 3 home runs on the season, as he has batted 5 of 16 now against the Pilots with 3 RBIs. So Kerfman, his first pitch to Henson, misses low and away for ball 1. 2-2 is your score here at Herman Brothers Field between the Pilots and Miners. Miners looking to win 8 in a row here at Herman Brothers. So Kerfman's 1-1 to Henson is a breaker that just gets inside the zone for strike 1. And this games have been tended to be close. Half of them in this 8-game season series, as Henson fouls it to the left side, have been decided by 2 runs or less. But the Miners getting the betterment of the Pilots in the past 4. So Henson is now fallen behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. If he hits another one over the yard, it would break this 2-2 tie. As instead, this time, lines went into left field. Playing it off the hop is Braden Daniel. And Spencer Henson will keep this third inning alive with his second hit of the day with 2 outs.
Well, that was a great sign for the Miners. Henson, a home run, a single here. He's back alive.
It really is. And Henson went to the new bat today, a smaller bat, and it seems to be working out for him quite well. Now 2 for 2 with a home run and a single as Austin Pinarini steps to the plate. He had a single back in his first at-bat. with nobody on. So this time he does have somebody on as Kerfman misses high and away. Opitz having to get out of the crouch to corral that one. So the man on first and Spencer Henson and Pinarini are now tied at second in the ABL with 20 RBIs. So Kerfman from his chest, the 1-0 pitch on the way. And Pinarini slaps that one up the middle for a base hit. Henson will round second. He's heading for third. Chase Wells won't be able to get to it before Henson stands on third base. So Austin Pinarini with a 2-out base hit. Now the Miners with runners on the corners as we're tied up at 2 here in the bottom of the third inning. Nice hustle there from Spencer Henson, realizing that ball was really dying after it reached the outfield, and there's no chance Chase Wells come in and make the play.
No chance at all. And, just to go to Pinarini and Nick Brooks, teammates at Gonzaga, and, a little playful back and forth. And, teammates have said Brooks is the better Gonzaga player, and Pinarini, 2 hits here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the 2 hits, 2 for 2 today, now up to 25 on the season. So Kerfman's first pitch to Josh Hatcher misses low and inside. Hatcher with a deep fly out to center field in his first at-bat. So now 0 for 1 against the Glacier Pilots. Has runners on the corners here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Tries to break this 2-2 tie. So Kerfman, his 1-0. Swung on and missed by Josh Hatcher. The count is now tied up at 1. So the Miners now have scored 144 runs this season, which is good for first in the ABL, as they're followed by the Pilots, who sit at 120 runs currently. So Hatcher swinging at this 1-1 pitch. It's a hard ground ball over to second. Ryan Knowles originally has troubles with it, but then gathers and throws over to first in time for out number 3. So the Miners get a couple of hits, but leave them both on in the bottom of the third as they go scoreless. We're still tied up at 2 as we head into the middle innings, and Connor Mills will be on the call for you on Mat-Su Miners Radio.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miner Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you on the call, and it's the Miners 2, the Pilots 2 here in the top of the 4th inning. Josh Haley, after giving up 2 runs in the first, has settled in here. A couple of 1, 2, 3 innings in the second and the third as we're getting ready for the top of the 4th. Mark Mumper, Aaron McCann, and Eli Rollinson all due up. Mumper had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, scoring the second run against Haley as first pitch is on the way, swung on, and ground ball over to Swift at short, takes a high bounce. The throw is on time. 1 pitch and 1 out for Josh Haley in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, Haley's really just settled into his zone ever since that first inning. And much like the great starting pitchers do, after getting roughed up early, trusted his stuff, and it's shown right now.
Aaron McCann, now the first baseman, stands in from the left side. McCann, 11 for 55 coming into today, batting 200 as he's swinging at the first pitch from Haley. This is for strike 1. McCann, 6 RBIs, 15 walks to 12 strikeouts. Grounded out into a fielder's choice the first time, and Haley just blows a fastball right by him for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on base here in the top of the 4th inning. The 0-2 pitch from Haley is looked at for ball 1. A good breaking pitch from Josh Haley, just a bit outside. As the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Haley's pitch is swung on and fouled back towards the left side. and out of play. Haley coming into today 2-1, a ERA of 1.53. Has started 4 games for the Miners, and coming in pitched 29 1/3 of an inning. 24 strikeouts to 7 walks as this one is grounded in foul territory along the right side. So Aaron McCann stays alive. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Game tied at 2. Hard hats are back on for the Miners bullpen as 1-2 is on the way, and a high pop fly ranging into foul territory is Spencer Henson at first. He makes the catch for out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. A 6-3 put out, followed by a pop out to first for Josh Haley. Eli Rollinson now coming in. He struck out looking his first time up. Coming in today, batting 184. That went a little lower as first pitch is swung on and tapped foul right back to the catcher, Aaron Walters. A half-hearted swing bounced right at home plate into the glove of Walters. Foul ball. Second pitch on the way. A fastball right down Broadway for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Josh Haley from the windup. He deals, swung on, and just fouled off. Rollinson just gets a piece of Haley's fastball. Looks like some dirt might have been kicked up a little. Well, we're ready to go again. Haley's pitching from the windup. Quick motion. He deals, swung on, and missed strike 3. Josh Haley, 4 strikeouts on the day. As the Mat-Su Miners and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots are tied at 2. We're heading into the bottom of the 4th inning here on Mat-Su Miner Radio.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
It's the bottom of the 4th inning here at Harmon Brothers Field. The Mat-Su Miners and the Pilots are tied at 2. Due up in the inning, Nick Brooks, Danny Wright, Tyler Bassetti. Brooks' first time up in his return to the Miners this year. Grounded back to the pitcher, Tyler McAllister. He was a starter in this game. And on the play, looked like he injured his leg. So McAllister came out. Cody Kerfman came in relief. McAllister only going 1 inning, allowing 3 hits, 2 runs, both coming off the bat of Spencer Henson with a home run. Kerfman coming in, has 2 innings of relief, allowed 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts, as we'll see a new man on the mound in Garrett Kosis. So it's the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Pilots have already used 3 pitchers as of now.
And it's real unfortunate what happened to McAllister. It seemed like just kind of a non-contact injury, which injured his leg. I would assume it would be some sort of muscle injury if it's something like that, but you really never know, and you can't obviously make a full conclusion. But real unfortunate for McAllister, but big props to Cody Kerfman coming in and providing those 2 big innings for the Pilots.
Always tough to come out of the bullpen. You're not expecting to come in until maybe at earliest the 3rd, 4th, if something goes wrong, but to come in right after the first inning is something tough to do. So Cody Kerfman holding down the fort for the Pilots as Nick Brooks stands in from the right side. He'll face Garrett Kosis. First pitch from him is a fastball that misses high. And we saw a lot of balls hit high in the air off the bat of Nick Brooks in batting practice. It was one after the other with him and Spencer Henson
Yeah, it was definitely fun watching those two go back-to-back in batting practice today.
1-0 is swung on and missed by Brooks. Count goes 1 ball and 1 strike. Kosis from Omaha, Nevada. Throws right, bats left, 6'4". Was a freshman at Wichita State, also 230 pounds. The 1-1 is a breaker that misses low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strikes. Kosis on the season doesn't have a win or loss on his record. Has appeared in 3 games, all in relief, a 3.85 ERA. Only 2 1/3 of an innings pitched as the fastball misses high and inside. So the count goes 3 balls, 1 strike here in the bottom of the 4th.
And they know Kosis is a dangerous hitter, so they may just walk him now that Kosis is behind in the count 3-1. Brooks, that is the dangerous hitter.
Kosis' 3-1 pitch goes high and inside to Nick Brooks. And the leadoff man is on base. Danny Wright, the switch hitter, coming up next. Danny Wright flew out to right field his first time up and is coming in today batting .269. And for Wright, over the last 7 days, batting .238, getting on base at .304. His first pitch, he's going to lay down a bunt, and it's going to go foul. So Danny Wright trying to sacrifice bunt, move Brooks over to second, unable to get it down as the catcher Opus pops up from behind the plate and gets it before it can go fair.
We saw yesterday Danny Wright with 2 sacrifice bunts that he placed very well. Did a great job of doing so. So skipper Ben Taylor having him do the same.
Kosis' 0-1 pitch. It's going to be a bunt attempt that is pulled back this time. Fastball was high and inside, so 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a runner on first base, Nick Brooks. Back on base. 1-1 is a bunt that goes foul again. Danny Wright tried to raise his bat all the way high and outside to lay down the bunt. Was able to get a piece of it, but not get it in fair territory. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Normally the higher pitches are easier to bunt because you can raise your hands and sort of just get the top part of the bat on it, opposed to lower pitches where typically your barrel will drop, but just unfortunate that the ball hits the bottom of the part of Danny Wright's bat.
The 1-2 from Garrett Kosis is swung on and a ground ball through the hole on the right side. Nick Brooks moves over and it's a single for Danny Wright. First single of the day for Wright as he gets on base. So now with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th, ball game tied at 2 between the Miners and Pilots. Tyler Bassetti, who had a shot off the bat to third base where Jordan Arruda could not handle it, credited a hit to Bassetti. He'll look to get another one here and bring home the lead.
Yeah, he really does. And Danny Wright, if you remember, earlier this season tried to sacrifice bunt, it didn't work, and then he had a single. So this is the second time now that Danny Wright has bunted foul twice and then brought it back with the single.
Well, the first 2 bunts might not make the manager happy, but hey, the single, that erases all worries. First pitch from Kosis into Tyler Bassetti. It's a bunt that is popped up in foul territory. Luckily for Bassetti, as no one is able to run over and get it. So he remains in the box. No balls and 1 strike. Bassetti coming into the day, batting .228. 6 RBIs and 14 walks with 23 strikeouts. First baseman McCann is creeping in as the bunt is pulled back. Count goes 1-1. Aaron McCann playing dangerously close should Tyler Bassetti decide to swing the bat instead of lay down a bunt. As everybody else is playing double play depth. McCann creeps in. The curveball is bunted foul off the bat of Tyler Bassetti.
So that's twice now that the Miners have had batters attempt sacrifice bunts and have them go foul. Let's see if Tyler Bassetti can have the same success that Danny Wright did.
So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes into Tyler Bassetti, with runners on first and second base. The pitch from Kosas is on the way, and a swing and a tapper over to short. Charging in is Mark Mumper to second for 1, and no relay throw. It's a fielder's choice for Tyler Bassetti. Nick Brooks goes from second to third, and on first, swapping places with Danny Wright will be Tyler Bassetti. So it moves 1 runner over, might not move 2. Gets a job done, as Drew Swift will look to hit in Nick Brooks. First pitch into Swift is swung on and fouled straight back. And for Swift, he grounded into a double play, something that is unusual due to the speed of Swift. But a hit and run with Bassetti was in motion. Swift hit it right up the middle. Second baseman Knowles was right there to field it and throw over for the second out as this one bounces into the dirt. Nick Brooks is on the way, sliding and safe under the glove, and the ball dropped out of the glove of Garrett Kosas. The lead run has come across as Nick Brooks scores on a pass ball. It's the Miners 3, the Pilots 2. Count 1 ball, 1 strike to Drew Swift.
Yeah, and it was odd. Once that ball got by the catcher Opitz, Drew Swift put his hand up saying, stop. Nope, it's not far enough. But Brooks, most likely listening to Ben Taylor, who thought it was good enough, slid in, and luckily it worked out for the Miners.
Kosas from the stretch. The 1-1 hits the inside corner for strike 2. The Miners now have the lead thanks to a pass ball, and that scores Nick Brooks. First run scored for him this season. As Drew Swift, with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes, he checks his swing. Ball's in the dirt. He did not go. So says Silas Drayden. Or check that. That's Nate DeSantis. DeSantis has moved over from first base umpiring over to second base. So Garrett Kosas now. The count on Drew Swift, 2-2. The pitch, high and inside for ball 3. Count has run full to the fastest man on the Miners in Drew Swift. And for Swifty, he's batting .280 over the last week, really bringing up his average, which coming into today was .210. The 3-2 is taken on the inside corner, a breaker that gets Swift looking. He thought it was ball 4, but instead it's strike 3. So Swift retired on strikes, and Aaron Walters will look to hit in Tyler Bassetti from second base.
Yeah, real unfortunate strikeout from Drew Swift right there. But they do only have 2 outs, so definitely a chance, especially with one of the hottest hitters coming up.
A good breaking ball from Garrett Kosas, as that was inside originally, broke over the plate late. As now Aaron Walters at the plate. First pitch into him is a fastball high and inside. Kosas not happy with that last pitch as he snaps down the throwback from the catcher Opus. 1 ball, no strikes, with 2 outs here on the bottom of the 4th inning. Miners leading the Pilots 3-2. Second pitch, a hot shot off the bat of Walters goes foul and into right field. A Miner in the bullpen wearing one of those Miners hats quickly goes out and retrieves it, slides, and is warming up as it's a little chilly out there today. As 1-1 is on the way to Aaron Walters, swung on, and a line drive, this time foul. And the same Miner will get another foul ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Tell you what, Aaron Walters having some great swings on the bat right now, just unfortunately just ahead of it.
1-2 the count into Aaron Walters. The pitch from Kosas is high and outside. And we're talking about the weather. Right now in Palmer, 56 degrees, and it's windy. And according to the iPhone weather, a 80% chance of rain starting at 9 o'clock. But so far, so good. Just a little cold as the 2-2 is on the way. Swung on and fouled off towards the left side. Ranging into foul territory is the third baseman, Aruda, who makes a nice catch coming back. A back bender, as that's the third out. So for the Miners, they score one off of a Nick Brooks scoring on a pass ball. It's the Miners 3, the Pilots 2. When we return, you're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Baseball. Yeah. You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by...
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Matsu Miner Radio.
Josh Haley's on the mound here in the top of the fifth inning. And after the first inning, we allowed 2 runs. It's been 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings for Haley. As Casey Opitz, the catcher, stands in from the right side. First pitch from Josh Haley, swung on, fouled off, and behind the press box over near the beer shack. Opitz last time up grounded out to second base, and we've seen a lot of people ground out to second today as Haley's pitch misses just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike into Opitz. For just the Pilots today, as the 1-1 is taken low and inside. 3 times they have been recorded out on a 4-3 putout. So a lot of work from Caleb Van Blake being put in today. As the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch from Haley is taken all the way for strike 2. 2-2 the count with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Haley now has the lead. The 2-2 is taken outside for ball 3.
And the Miners pitchers, especially at home, pitch great when they have a lead. So Josh Haley will look to follow suit in this game.
The 3-2 fastball low and inside for ball 4. First walk given up by Josh Haley today. And the first base runner we've seen reach since the first inning.
Yeah, Haley doing a good job of finding his own. But this time the Pilots batter reaches on a walk instead of a hit. So that is all just self-enforced from Haley. So he'll look to recover in this at-bat.
Now at the plate, Grant Parker, the designated hitter. He lays down a bunt, pulls it back, but it's called a strike by Brad Polk. Charging in on the play is the third baseman Tyler Bassetti should the bunt be laid down by Parker. Count no balls and 1 strike. Haley pitching from the stretch. He's ready. A breaking ball misses high and outside. Bunt attempt was pulled back. So the count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out and a runner on first here in the top of the 5th inning. Haley looks at Opitz, then goes to the plate. Bassetti has it, throws over to second base with the first down. Swift turning it, and in time. A good 5-6-3 double play originating off the throw of Tyler Bassetti. It was a hard bunt off the bat of Grant Parker, who tried to sacrifice Casey Opitz from first to second, but instead the bunt attempt was no good as Tyler Bassetti starts off a 5-6-3 double play. First pitch into Chase Wells is bunted foul as he tried to get on base with a bunt. And I don't know what it's been over the past couple days, but we've seen a lot of bunt attempts from the Oilers back in the Kenai series, and now here between the Miners and the Pilots. Second pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside. So the base runner against Josh Haley is erased as the count is 1-1 to Chase Wells. The pitch is swung on and hit out into left field. Charging, diving, and not making the catch was Austin Pianarini. A trap catch from Pianarini as the ball hit the ground. Then it hit his glove. Tried to sell it out there, but Silas Dresden, the third base umpire, saw it all the way.
Real great effort out of Austin Pianarini right there. We've really seen him be real gritty in the outfield and just showed it once again right there.
So now another runner's on base. As first pitch swinging is Jordan Arruda. He flies it into second base. Van Blake makes a two-hand grab, and the side's retired. So not much going on for the Pilots here in the top of the fifth inning. As Mat-Su Miners still lead. It's 3-2 Mat-Su. We're heading into the bottom of the fifth inning. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
It's the bottom of the fifth inning, and we mentioned the Kenai trip as the Miners lead 3-2 over the Pilots here. And the Kenai, the Miners took 3 out of 2, and that was huge, in part to the host families, volunteers, and sponsors who helped make food, donate food, supplies, and more for the recent road trip. It takes a village, and we are lucky to have the most amazing fan base in the Alaskan Baseball League. So a huge thank you to all our volunteers, families, and sponsors being able to make the Kenai trip possible for the Mat-Su Miners.
Yeah, it really was remarkable just seeing the whole community come around willing to donate food, some even willing to come down and travel with the Miners to cook for the Miners and then just provide their hospitality, which was absolutely spectacular. The players appreciated it, the coaches appreciated it. I know General Manager Pete Christopher appreciated it, and ourselves from the broadcast booth who travel with the team greatly appreciated it as well. So overall around, it was a wonderful effort and really good to see the Miners as well.
And of course, one of the traveled down was our host family.
Yes.
Mike and Cheryl Combs, we thank them for housing us. Great chicken salad for lunch and then lasagna for dinner. It was so tremendous.
It really was, and really can't complain about any of the food down in Kenai this past week. It was all absolutely wonderful. Served with such care and love, which is even better. And it was really cool to see the guys really bond in that 5-day road trip because they had to live right next to each other in the bingo hall.
And now leading things off, Caleb Van Blake standing in from the left side. Van Blake today 0 for 2. Popped up to second and also grounded out to second. The new pitcher on the mound coming in relief for Garrett Kosis is Alex Stiegler. A righty is the first just swung on and missed by Van Blake. So Van Blake batting averages on the Miners so far at 368 as he swings and this one over to shortstop Bumper out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. A 6-3 putout is able to get Caleb Henson. Comes to the end. Henson 2 for 2 today. Credited with 2 RBIs. thanks to a big blast off the bat in the first inning, getting all of 342 and maybe more. We need a tape measure to go back and find wherever that ball may have landed. As the first pitch from Stiegler into Henson bounces in the dirt for ball one.
And now we're only 8 home runs away from assistant coach Tyler LeBrun's prediction of 9, which he made in batting practice today.
Well, it's impressive. He predicted at least one.
Yeah.
The 1-0 on the way from Stiegler. Henson checked his swing. Did he go? He did not, according to Nate DeSantis. And Stiegler out of Dallas, Texas, 185 pounds, throws right, bats right, 6 foot tall. As a fastball hits the outside corner, 2-1 the count into Spencer Henson. He's also a sophomore from Yale. We saw a Brown product on the Kenai roster in Peninsula Oilers, and now we see a Yale.
Yeah, a lot of smart kids, and that'll definitely help raise the GPA of the Alaskan Baseball League. You notice a lot of these student athletes make a lot of honor rolls, really a lot of smart athletes on the field.
As Henson gives this one a ride deep into right field, looking back, and that is out of here. The second home run of the day for Spencer Henson. Spencer Henson rounds the bases for the second time today. The first one, a big blast into left field, and now this one, a deep shot into right field, getting all of the 322 right down the line. It was a courtesy run from Eli Rollinson, the Pilots' right fielder, as the Mat-Su Miners extend their lead. It's 4-2, Mat-Su. Austin Pinerini now batting as the Stiegler first pitch is inside for a ball. And for Henson, I think he's heard us criticizing him just a bit during the Kenai trip. As now he is 3 for 3, 2 home runs, and a single.
And I tell you what, this time he did a nice job of hitting it opposite field, and that new bat is really working out well for Spencer Henson.
Might be a smaller bat, but it's a bigger product. As the 2-0 pitch hits the zone against Austin Pinerini, 2-1 the count into the Gonzaga product. 2-1 from Stiegler. This one is line drive, but right at the center fielder Wells, who makes the catch. So now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, but 1 run is in thanks to a Spencer Henson home run. This time, just 1 guy.
Yeah, I tell you what, Henson's been absolutely incredible for the Miners. Not only is he producing on the field, but has been a great team guy in the locker room, really bringing everyone together, putting smiles on people's faces when he needs it, and hey, just a true leader on the diamond.
Josh Hatcher now stands in as he's looking for his first hit on the day. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Stiegler pitching from the windup. The righty, he's ready and hits the outside corner yet again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, with the Miners leading the Pilots 4-2. Stiegler shaking off his catcher Opitz, and now the pitch. He is swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. So for Henson, make that his 4th home run on the season. He now trails Ryan Cook of the Peninsula Oilers by 1 for the lead here in the Alaskan Baseball League. The 0-2 into Hatcher, high and away for ball 1.
Henson just seeing the ball absolutely incredible tonight, and hit 2 home runs. Not only the 2 home runs, but they've been hit to different sides of the park. That really displays great hitting.
The 1-2 misses low and away. Josh Hatcher works the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Spencer is also tied at the top in RBIs with 21 on the season. He passes Austin Pinerini and now ties another Gonzaga product as that ball goes right through the wickets of Opitz. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So Spencer Henson and Jake Veith tied at the top of a lot of categories. Henson was tied with Veith in home runs before that one. with 3 as the 3-2 is a ground ball over to first. Darren McCann makes a play, underhand toss to Siegler in time for the third out. So Spencer Henson does it again as the Mat-Su Miners extend their lead. It's 4-2 Mat-Su as we head into the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miner Radio.
Ryan Knowles will lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning. It's Knowles, Daniel, and Mumper all due up. Josh Haley remains on the mound. He is a starter of today and is looking to go 6 innings, something he has done 3 times before, 4 times if you count when he went 7 innings. So for Josh Haley against the Bucks is the first pitch into Ryan Knowles, who's for a strike. Last time against the Bucks, he went 6 innings. As this one is a hot shot deep into right field off the bat of Ryan Knowles, and we'll watch it go. A home run. The first on the season for Ryan Knowles as a jet stream into right field is in full effect. The first run allowed for Josh Haley since the first inning. It's now the Mat-Su Miners 4 and the Glacier Pilots 3.
Anyone could have predicted in bullpen that a lot of home runs would go over that right field wall, and now we've seen 2 head over that way, and a combined 3 home runs now in this game.
So Ryan Knowles led things off with a home run here in the top of the 6th inning as the first pitch into Braden Daniels, good for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Second pitch on the way, and it's a hot shot off the bat, but foul along the left field line. So for the Pilots, 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Miners, 4 runs, 8 hits, as this one's grounded over to Swift at short. A good throw gets Braden Daniel. 6-3 for the first out here in the top of the 6th.
Way to bounce back from Josh Haley, who's not concerned about that at all. And you had to expect if a ball is going to hit hard and may not normally be hard enough to go over the right field wall, it may today because of the wind. So he understands that and is still going to stick to his game plan.
Game plan, of course, being keep the ball on the ground as much as possible as the first pitch into Mark Mumper is in for a called strike. Mumper today, sacrifice fly in the first inning for the second RBI on the Pilots as he swings through this one. Josh Haley quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. So Mumper with an RBI and then grounded out to short. His second time up as this is his 3rd time to the plate. Mumper led the Pilots in batting average at .323 as he fouls this one off and towards the right side. Now we've seen 3 home runs on the day. We're getting closer to the 9 total that assistant coach Tyler LeBrun guesstimated.
Yeah, we are about a third of the way there. So
the 0-2 is swung on, poked out down the line in right field and foul, making one of the Miners pitchers get up from their bullpen seat as they're now huddling for warmth.
Yeah, it's chilly out there. They have no cover in that right field bullpen. Same with the bullpen out in left field.
The 0-2 is a breaking ball that bounces in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning to Mark Mumper. The 1-2 is swung on and just fouled off. So 3 home runs, 2 off the bat of Spencer Henson, and 1 now for Ryan Knowles. Knowles 2 for 3 today. A single and now a home run. Mark Mumper looking for his first hit of the evening as he deals with a 1-2 count. Swing and a ground ball. There's the first hit right through the hole on the left side. Mark Mumper on base with the single.
Yeah, and after he hit that, it was right in between Swift and Bozzetti, the third baseman and shortstop, and they just kind of both took a step and then looked at the ball and then looked at each other and just kind of shook their heads, knowing that none of them could get to it.
A hard chopper off the bat of Mark Mumper as he now stands on first. Aaron McCann at the plate, fielder's choice, and also popped up to first base as this one goes through Aaron Walters. Mark Mumper moves from first to second. Looks like that ball may or may not have got hung up somewhere behind the backstop. Home plate umpire Brad Polk made a motion as to say safe. Not sure what could have been safe, other if the ball gets stuck or maybe Walters was signaling something.
I believe McCann maybe have check swung it, and he was saying that it was no foul ball.
There's now a full swing from Aaron McCann. Brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. The Pilots did score 1 on a home run, and they are still dealing here with a runner on second base. The one from Josh Haley as Mark Mumper takes off running. This one is fouled off into the third base side. Bassetti makes the catch in foul territory, and Mumper has to move back to second.
A nice catch from Bozzetti right there, who had to move over to third base bag, thinking there was going to be a stolen base, and then had to turn his attention to the ball. So excellent recovery there from Tyler Bozzetti.
And now with 2 outs, the lead still intact. Josh Haley looking to put this inning to rest. Eli Rollinson at the plate. He does have a home run on the season as it's a check swing tapper back to Josh Haley. 1 pitch for the 3rd out. So Josh Haley gives up 1 on the home run, but not much else as Mat-Su Miners still lead the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 4-3. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
It's the bottom of the 6th inning. Mat-Su Miners still have a 1-run lead. And it looks like we'll see a new pitcher. Johnny Mizaros will come in relief for Alex Stiegler. Stiegler went 1 inning, allowed a hit, a run. It was earned. That run coming off the bat yet again off of Spencer Henson with a solo home run. Stiegler did not walk anybody or strike out anyone. As now, Johnny Mizaros will look to cool down the Miners' bats. Due up in the inning for the Mat-Su Miners, Nick Brooks, Danny Wright, and Tyler Bassetti. Johnny Mizaros out of Anchorage, Alaska, 6'3", 215 pounds, a righty, 0-1 on the season, a ERA of 7.5. Has appeared in 6 games, all in relief. Has 1 save. Has pitched 6 innings. Struck out 12. And has walked 6. Also has allowed 3 hits. Johnny Mazzaros, last time out was July 2nd against the Bucks, where he went an inning of work, and that's where he picked up his save. As he got 2 strikeouts and 3 batters faced. A good 1-2-3 inning for him against the Bucks. Last time he allowed a run was against the Mat-Su Miners on June 23rd. Has faced the Miners on the 23rd and on the 25th. 25th was a slightly better outing for him. Had a clean inning of work. Walked 2, struck out 2 as well. Nick Brooks will look to do some damage here in his return to the Mat-Su Miners. And last season, Nick Brooks went 29 hits and 102 at-bats, a .284 batting average, 11 RBIs, 18 walks, and 32 strikeouts. First pitch from Mazzaros into Brooks is high and away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brooks also had some pop off the bat, as we've seen before. 9 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. As fastball misses low and outside, 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Johnny Mazzaros into Nick Brooks. Third pitch on the way, and it's a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Brooks so far in his return, grounded back to the pitcher, and also walked as he's 0 for 1. The 2-1 pitch from Mazzaros swung on and missed. A big hack from Nick Brooks as he wanted to get at least a piece of that. That would have been fun to see how high or how far it could go.
Yeah, he was trying to hit that one to Pioneer Peak with that swing.
2-2 the count, nobody out. The pitch from Mazzaros, a curveball, gets him looking. Brooks knew it, as that's the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And unfortunately, a lot of hitters recognize that with a breaking pitch that just breaks in at the last minute, and as they decided not to swing to it, and they know that there's no other choice than just take a slow stroll back to the dugout.
So Brooks retired on strikes. Danny Wright at the plate. His last time up had a single. As he's 1 for 2 today. Fastball misses low. 1 ball, no strikes. Mazzaros pitching from the windup. This one is swung on, fouled into the front leg of Danny Wright. Since he's batting on the left side, that would be his right leg. And then for Wright, batting .238 over the last week. The 1-1 from Mazzaros misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike into Danny Wright. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, Mat-Su Miners leading the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 4-3. From the windup, Mazzaros' pitch swung on, ground ball over to second base. Knowles, who has it, throws over to first in time for the 2nd out. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So all these relievers to the Pilots really doing a nice job of limiting the Miners to not many runs. The only one that has scored was Spencer Henson's 1-run bomb.
I mean, you mentioned earlier on in the game how many plays have been going to second base today. That would be the 3rd, check that, 4th time that Ryan Knowles, has fielded a ball over there. So a lot of work in for him. As a first pitch into Tyler Bassetti misses for ball 1. Mazzaros is ready. The pitch is swung on. A swing that Bassetti did not want to take, but he went around as he couldn't stop himself. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs.
And once you get 3/4 of the way through, there's really nothing you can do but to finish that swing.
Bassetti now batting .234 on the season as he's 1 for 2 today. 1-1 from Mazaros is taken low for ball 2. Should Bassetti keep this inning alive in the on-deck circle is Drew Swift. Nothing going on in the Miners bullpen as it looks like we'll see Josh Haley back out in the 7th inning. Likewise, for the Pilots, nothing going on. The 2-1 is a hot shot to third base. The throw is low, and a good pick from Aaron McCann is able to get Tyler Bassetti. Jordan Aruda flashing the leather here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the Matsu Miners 4, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 3. We're heading into the top of the 7th, and we'll throw it back to Brad Walker for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Matsu Miner Radio.
Welcome back in to the 7th inning here between this contest of the Pilots and the Miners. The Miners currently hold the edge 4-3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Josh Haley still on the mound for a 7th inning of work, and he'll have a new center fielder out there in Braden Merritt, who enters the ball game. So he'll replace Danny Wright. And that is the only defensive switch currently, as Casey Oppitz stands in. He's 0 for 1 in his 2nd game of the ABL season. So Haley winds and delivers a 2-seam that misses just outside, 1-0. Oppitz grounded to second base in the 2nd inning, and then drew a walk in the 5th. So Haley, this fastball nails the inside part of the plate, moves to 1-1. So Oppitz now on the season, in 2 games, I should say, is 1 for 5. Did walk in yesterday's contest. So the 1-1 from Haley misses well inside. That'll dribble to the backstop, 2-1. Oppitz was drafted in the 2017 MLB draft, where he's the 27th. And was drafted by the Cleveland Indians and was the number 3 player ranked in Colorado by Perfect Game. So Haley misses just inside. Oppitz draws a hitter's count, 3-1. Here in the top of the 7th, as the Miners lead 4-3. The Pilots did score last inning thanks to a home run as Oppitz grounds one hard over to Drew Swift. His throw just high. Spencer Henson can't make the jump spin tag. So Casey Oppitz will reach from the air by Drew Swift, as it'll be a throwing error. So that'll be Drew Swift's 5th error of the season, as that one just sails a bit on him. And we'll see a pinch hitter step in to the plate for the Pilots. Number 11, Zach Presno, the catcher out of Fresno State. So he replaces Grant Parker, who was the designated hitter. And he looks at a first pitch strike. That's on the lower part of the plate from Josh Haley. So Presno enters. He is batting .209 so far on the season, as he now looks to bunt. This is dribbled just near that first base line. Josh Haley comes off the mound, makes a nice spinning throw for out number 1. That does move Casey Oppitz 90 feet, and now the tying run is in scoring position with 1 out. So nice sack bunt there from Zach Presno. So Chase Wells stands into the game. He is 1 for 2 today. So got his first hit against the Miners back in the 5th inning. So he stands in from the left side of the dish. Tying run does stand on second, as we mentioned. Pilots trailing 4-3. Josh Haley, nice first pitch breaker. That has Wells well in front of it. So he's moved ahead in the count 0-1. So Haley will come set from his torso, the 0-1, and misses low and away for ball one. So the Pilots have scored in the first and sixth innings. In the first inning, they got going early with 3 straight hits, 2 of them being RBI hits. As Haley misses low and in the dirt, moves the count to 2-1. And then last inning, scoring on a home run thanks to Ryan Knowles, a solo shot. And now sit in the 7th with the tying run on second base with 1 down. So Haley's 2-1 pitch is swung at, but fouled off to the left side. And now the count is 2-2 to Chase Wells, who came into tonight with only 1 hit in his past 11 at-bats. So now 2 hits in his past 13. So sort of struggling from the dish of recent. A 2-2 from Haley. That's a bounce over to Drew Swift. He'll once again throw to third. The tag from Tyler Bozetti gets Casey Oppitz, who for the second time tonight, a Pilots base runner, has decided to go when a ground ball is hit to Drew Swift. His IQ is off the charts, and he recognized that the runner's going, and his throws are always spot on, and Bozetti is right there to make the tag.
Well, I like you said that his IQ is off the charts because the IQ is not too great running from second to third. You know, like we said, if the ball is hit on the left side of the field towards the third base or shortstop, the runner on second does not go. If it's hit towards the right side of the field, then the runner can go. Swift now nailing Daniel, and now he nails Opitz.
And really surprising that the Pilots runners did decide to go, as that's such a tough base to take. And you are down 1 run, so now the tying run is still on base, but now they will stand on first instead of second. And with this break, in case you're wondering on ways to donate to the Special Olympics, you can donate in multiple ways. As a matter of fact, donate by phone at 1-800-380-3071 or donate by mail, Special Olympics Alaska at 3200 Mountain View Drive in Anchorage, Alaska, postal code 99501. And lastly, donate online, SpecialOlympicsAlaska.org. So those are your ways to donate to the Special Olympics Alaska, as it is GCI's day at the park, and we're celebrating those Special Olympians who did such a wonderful job this summer so far, heading to the national competition in Seattle, where they brought back a lot of hardware.
Proudly wearing it.
Yes, they were supporting it, heading out to the national anthem with the Mat-Su Miners starters. So really a great day at the ballpark at Herman Brothers Field, as the Miners now hold a 4-3 lead. Nice pickoff move by Josh Haley. Had Wells in a pickle, but Henson's throw back to second was off the mark. So Wells catches a break thanks to the throw by Spencer Henson, and now will stand on second. So the Miners still have 2 outs, but that tying run we mentioned, thanks to a base running error, was taken away from second and then stood on first. Now the Pilots have him standing on second.
Well, either way, it's better than standing on third.
As Haley's first pitch into Jordan Arruda is fouled straight back for strike 1. So 4-3 is your score here in the top of the 7th inning. Miners leading, but the Pilots do have the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. Arruda stepping in. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Got a double to lead this game off, but since then has grounded out and then flew out. So struggling since. And he came into tonight only 8 of 24 against the Miners. So the Miners have really found ways to get him out as he swings through that breaking pitch from Josh Haley, who is just 1 strike away of getting out of this inning, with 2 outs here in the 7th. And Arruda came in also batting .284, which was 6th in the ABL, but just mentioned these Miners pitchers getting the better of them more times than not. The 0-2 is a breaking pitch on the outside corner. He did not go. So Arruda stays alive in the count 1-2. Chase Wells stands on second. He would be the tying run if he came across to score. So Haley from the stretch, his 1-2 is fouled back over the press box, and Arruda stays alive at 1-2. So Jordan Arruda has been no-hit 11 times this year. 4 of them have came against the Miners. So just another fact to go to, that these Miners pitchers do a great job of pitching to Jordan Arruda. Haley's 1-2, that's slapped into right field. That's going to take a few hops before Josh Hatcher can get to it. And struggling to field it, will allow Chase Wells to come around third and tie this ball game up at 4, thanks to Jordan Aruta's 2-out RBI single. Aruta, that's his second hit of the day and third RBI against the Miners, 7th on the season. So after a running error was almost costly to the Mat-Su Miners, they catch a break thanks to Spencer Henson's throwing error, and then Jordan Aruta comes through to tie this thing up at 4. And we'll take a short break as skipper Ben Taylor makes a walk to the mound, and we'll see a new pitcher for the Mat-Su Miners when we come back on Mat-Su Miners Radio.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
.org. Brought to you by the...
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
And we see a new pitcher for the Mat-Su Miners in relief of Josh Haley, who had a really great start. Unfortunately, going out not the way he wanted to, was clearly frustrated with the way he pitched in those past few batters as Aruta got the better of him to tie this game up at 4. That's going to be the last batter he'll see. So Kyle King comes on the mound, the left-handed thrower out of Cal State Bakersfield. Kyle has changed the way he sort of pitches now. Instead of an overhand, goes now to more of the sidearm motion. So the lefty has appeared in 6 games. He started in one of those, and through 8 1/3 innings pitched, has a 3.24 ERA. With 7 strikeouts and 5 walks. So in the past 3 outings, Kings went 3 innings and has not given up a run in any of them. So he steps in with 2 outs, a runner on first, and the game tied up at 4 here in the top of the 7th inning. Josh Haley exits going 6 2/3, gave up 7 hits. So far has given up 4 runs, but that runner on first is his responsibility, and with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. So Haley is only the 3rd minor starting pitcher to go more than 5 innings against the Pilots. So does his job and still gives the Miners a chance to win this game. So King, his first pitch, he'll throw down to first, and Aruta dives back in time. Aruta is tied with Minor shortstop Drew Swift with 12 stolen bases on the season. So Kyle King, otherwise known as Lupus around the Miners clubhouse, he has a nice pickoff move once again. This time, Spencer Henson nails the throw down to second, and they get Jordan Aruta for the 3rd out of the inning. So Kyle King comes in and gets the 3rd out without even throwing a pitch, and will be tied up at 4 as the Pilots tie it up in the top of the 7th inning. We head into the home half of the 7th on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today. Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
So we see a new pitcher on the mound coming in from right field is going to be the right-handed thrower Eli Rollinson. Rollinson, this is his first appearance of the season on the mound. So we'll come in a big situation. We're tied up at 4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Pilots scoring 1 to tie this thing up in the top of the 7th inning, thanks to Jordan Aruta's RBI single. So Swift, Walters, and Van Blake do up the 9-1-2 hitters as Swift takes a first pitch high and inside from Eli Rollinson. Mentioned Rollinson playing right field, so coming in, he'll pitch for the first time this season as he misses inside 2-0. So Rollinson, the tall righty, winds and deals. He misses outside, has thrown 3 straight balls to begin his relief appearance to Drew Swift. And Swift would not be a guy you want to allow on here in the bottom of the 7th inning with the game tied. Swift really speeds around the bases. To Rollinson, his 3-0. Taken all the way as it was a high fastball that nailed the upper part of the zone for strike 1. So Swifty tonight 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 4th. The 3-1, he looks at it low. He'll reach base on a walk. Only the 2nd walk drawn all game long by the Miners, as the Miners draw the 4th least amount of walks, or rather 4th most walks all in the ABL, only 104, so that has gone up to 106 tonight. As Aaron Walters steps in after leading things off for the Miners with a double in the 1st inning, has gone back-to-back innings being retired, or back-to-back at-bats that is being retired, but looks to deliver big with that go-ahead run on first. Rollinson misses high and away for ball 1. As we're at Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners have won 8 in a row, looking to make it 9, but we're tied up at 4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Rollinson from his waist. Walters is swinging this one into right field. Doesn't have quite enough, as ranging over and making the catch is Dominic Foscolina. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as Walters has been set down 3 times in a row. And that's going to bring up Caleb Van Blake, who is 0 for 3 tonight, but looking for his first hit in a big situation. Now 3 of 11 against the Pilots, and coming off such a great series where he went 7 of 17 with an RBI against the Oilers. Struggling tonight at home. So Drew Swift still stands on first with one out. Rollinson comes set. His pitch, a big bender that misses inside, almost hits Caleb Van Blake in the elbow. But that will be a ball to move the count to 1-0. So the Miners leading this season series against the Pilots 6-2, and they are looking to win 5 in a row against the Pilots tonight. So a couple of streaks on the line for the Miners as Rollinson misses high, and the count will go to 2 balls and no strikes in case the Opitz will make a mound visit. So today is special. The Miners are celebrating the Special Olympians of Alaska. If you're wondering ways to donate, donate by phone at 1-800-380-3071 or by mail. Special Olympics Alaska, 3200 Mountain View Drive in Anchorage, Alaska, postal code 99501. Or lastly, donate online at specialolympicsalaska.org. So Van Blake steps back into the box. He's ahead in the count, 2-0 with one out. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Drew Swift stands on first after leading things off with the walk. Rollinson's 2-0. That misses high and away again to the left-handed hitting Caleb Van Blake. So he's fallen behind 3-0. Van Blake looking to draw his 5th walk of the season. As the go-ahead run stands on first. So Rollinson, his 3-0, taken all the way by Caleb Van Blake. That barely hits the outside part of the zone. So 3 balls, 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Miners have 8 hits tonight opposed to the Pilots 7, so we've seen a combined 15. As Rollinson, his 3-1 pitch is on the way. Caleb Van Blake swinging. This one chopped over to second. Moving over to his left is Ryan Knowles. Swift was on the move on that pitch, so no chance to go to second with it. And now the Miners with the runner in scoring position with 2 outs. As Spencer Henson steps to the dish, he's been dangerous tonight. 3 of 3 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. So Rollinson going to have a bit of sweaty palms standing on the rubber to face Spencer Henson, who now has 4 home runs on the season and 21 RBIs. And Henson now 7 of 18 with 4 RBIs against the Pilots alone. As that go-ahead run is on second, 2 outs. The first pitch to Henson, a breaker that hits the lower portion of the plate, 0-1 with 2 outs. We're tied at 4 in the bottom of the 7th. The Miners looking to win 9 in a row at home and improve to their 20th win on the season. As they sit at 19-11, the Pilots looking for their 13th win as they sit at 12-14. 0-1 from Rollinson has Henson swinging, but he fouls it off and out of play to the right side. So Rollinson with the advantage, 0-2. But no reason to take a sigh of relief as Henson is always dangerous, and no matter what count he is in his at-bat. So the Pilots, who have been a good team on the road, 5-4, look to improve that streak. But the Miners have been pretty dominant at home, sitting at 10-3 currently. So Rollinson checks second. Now motions. His 0-2 is missed high. Swift heading down to third. The throw down is in time, so Swift will be caught stealing for the 3rd out of this 7th inning. So the Pilots get out of it unscathed after Drew Swift led off with a walk, got over to second, but then got caught trying to steal third. So we're still tied at 4 as we head into the 8th inning on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
all knotted up at 4 as we head into the 8th inning of play here at Herman Brothers Field between the Pilots and the Miners. So Kyle King will be still on to face Ryan Knowles, who he came on to face last inning, but without even throwing a pitch, he got the third out, as that was a nasty slider delivered there from Kyle King. It started at Knowles' body and then dove into the strike zone. So he's ahead in the count 0-1 after his first pitch finally being thrown. So we mentioned King in his last 3 appearances has gone 3 innings of scoreless, but this is roped down to first base, and Spencer Henson rising up to make the catch for out number 1.
Wow.
Incredible play from Spencer Henson here to begin this 8th inning. As if he had a basketball right there, it may have just been slammed.
Now, that would have been dunked. That was just tremendous athleticism from Spencer Henson. He had to go high in the air to get that, and just wow.
And what a grab there from Spencer Henson. That's a base stealer, as that's an easy double there from Ryan Knowles, as we'll see yet another new pitcher for the Miners. So Kyle King does his job against the lefty Knowles and gets the out. So with 1 down in the top of the 8th inning, we see a new pitcher for the Miners, and we'll introduce him when we come back on Mat-Su Miners Radio.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Mat-Su Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
New pitcher for the Mat-Su Miners is going to be right-handed thrower Noah Cordova out of Chandler Gilbert Community College and Bay's Way of Gilbert, Arizona. So he relieves Kyle King, who goes a third of an inning, and that out was recorded in a spectacular fashion by Spencer Henson, getting it by the tippity top of his leather over at first base. Excellent jumping catch. So Cordova comes into this game with 9 appearances under his belt. One of them was a start, and he's been pretty stellar since making the move to the bullpen. In those 9 appearances, a 1.65 ERA, has a 1-0 record in 16 the third innings pitched, struck out 9 and has walked 9 as well. So he'll see at least Braden Daniel and Mark Mumper. So Daniel, the switch hitter, so is guaranteed to be a mismatch for the Miners, but Mumper is a right-handed hitter. So they bring Cordova in as a strategy-wise with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. We're tied up at 4 here at Herman Brothers Field. So Cordova, his first pitch is a fastball that misses high for ball 1. Braden Daniel tonight is 1 for 3. Back in the first inning, had an RBI double, but since then has grounded out twice. As Daniel now up to 14 RBIs on the season. As Cordova nails that inside corner to the left-handed hitting Daniel. He is a switch hitter, but batting from the left side of the dish against the right-handed Noah Cordova. So Daniel now up to 4 RBIs against the Miners. As he swings through a fastball, he's now down on the count 1-2. So really seeing the ball well against Mat-Su. 11-29 now on the season against the Miners. So Cordova, who's ahead in the count 1-2, his pitch gets Daniel to swing, skies it over into foul ground on the left side. Moving over from his right is Tyler Bozetti and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down so far for the Pilots, as they've seen 2 different pitchers. Cordova will stay on the mound to face Mark Mumper. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Sac fly, which he got an RBI, or sac fly back in the first inning. And then the 4th, grounded out, and then in the 6th had a base hit. So Mumper steps to the dish, came into tonight, second in the ABL in batting average, as Cordova hits the lower part of the plate for strike one. Is now on a 5-game hit streak. Came in tonight 10 of last 18 in those 5 games. So Cordova's 0-1, misses low in the dirt, kind of gets away from Walters, but doesn't matter with nobody on. So the count moves to 1-1 with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. We're tied at 4, so every pitch matters here as it's crunch time. And it's looking like this is going to be the 5th time that the games between the Pilots and Miners have been decided by 2 runs or less. So Cordova's 1-1. Fastball hits the upper outside portion of the plate. He's ahead in the count 1-2. So back-to-back batters, Noah Cordova has worked a 1-2 count against. He's doing a nice job of staying ahead in counts. As he shakes off Walters a few times, now he's ready. He comes set from the chest. His 1-2 pitch, bouncing over to short. Drew Swift gets on a couple of hops and then tries to throw off his back foot. It's high, as if it would have been on line, I believe Mumper still would have ran it out. So that'll be an infield hit for Mark Mumper to extend this 8th inning. His 2nd hit tonight, as Aaron McCann steps to the dish from the left side. So now the Pilots with the go-ahead run on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. So Mumper, that's his, we mentioned, 2nd hit tonight, 23rd on the season. And he came in with only 1 hit against the Miners on the season. Now he's up to 3. So Cordova's first pitch to McCann. Mumper's on the move. That pitch was low and inside for a ball. Walters decides not to throw. So Mumper with a stolen base. He's up to 8 so far on the season. As McCann now ahead in the count 1-0. Now that go-ahead run gets even closer for the Pilots. Now stands on second. So the 1-0 from Cordova. McCann thought about it, but held up on the high fastball. He's down in the count 2-0.
Cordova's really got to lock in here. He can't give up the run that's on second base right now.
And Mumper's going to try to steal third. Walters throw down off the hop. Bozetti couldn't quite handle it. So Mark Mumper will grab another bag, as it seems like he slid into the left ankle of Tyler Bozetti, who is sort of limping around over there in the third base area. So all the Miners defensemen will take time as Drew Swift walks over to talk with his third baseman. Almost telling him, take your time, man. Got to relax. As the go-ahead run, only 90 feet away right now for the Pilots. And McCann has now worked the count to 3-0, as that last pitch was a fastball that missed outside. So Mumper with yet another stolen base. That's 2, as he stole second, now stole third. So 2 outs, top of the 8th inning, 3-0 count. The pitch is a fastball that hits the high outside corner for strike 1. So 3-1 count. Tied up at 4 here in the 8th inning. Cordova looking to get out of it. Just needs 1 more out. It's 3-1. That one is roped into right field, and Josh Hatcher will play it off the hop. And Mark Mumper will come in to score after stealing 2 huge bases. He comes in thanks to the RBI single of Aaron McCann. So what a time for McCann to have his first hit today. And now driving in 10 RBIs, 3rd against the Miners. So big hit there for the Oilers, as we see a pinch hitter for the Pilots. A left-handed hitter, number 7, Jake Cosgrove. As we see some time here, probably to discuss the pinch hitter possibly. So the Pilots rather have gone ahead in this game 5-4. And with the new pinch hitter from the right side is Cosgrove. He comes in to pinch hit for Eli Rollinson. Will most likely be pulled from this game because he was the pitcher. So Cordova gets a first pitch strike. 0-1's the count. 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. Aaron McCann just drove in Mark Mumper to put the Pilots ahead 5-4. So the 0-1 pitch is another breaking ball that hits the zone. Cordova ahead in the count, 0-2. Jake Cosgrove out of Seattle, Washington. This is just his 19th at-bat of the season. Has 3 out of his 18 so far. 3 hits, that is. And 4 RBIs. So he looks to extend this away half of the 8th inning. But he's down on the count 0-2 with 2 outs to Noah Cordova. Cordova kicks and deals. The 0-2 hits Cosgrove around the neck area with a breaking ball. So now the Pilots with runners on first and second here in the 8th inning. As Spencer Henson will walk to the mound to talk to his pitcher Cordova, who has given up the go-ahead run for the Pilots. And now Jake Cosgrove will stand in on first. And we'll see now a mound meeting from pitching coach Jeff Erlab before we see Casey Oppitz step in. So ways to donate to the Special Olympics of Alaska. You can donate by phone at 1-800-380-3071, by mail at Special Olympics Alaska at 3200 Mountain View Drive in Anchorage, Alaska, postal code 99501, or donate online at specialolympicsalaska.org. So the Pilots have scored in the past 3 innings now to take a 5-4 lead over the Miners late in this ball game, as this is a long meeting on the mound with pitching coach Jeff Erlab and his pitcher Noah Cordova and the infield and catcher Aaron Walters. So it looks like this meeting is going to be adjourned to figure out what they're going to do as Casey Oppitz steps in from the left side of the dish. Oppitz today is 0 for 2. He's reached twice, once on a walk in the 5th inning, and then reached on an error back in the 7th, as he looks to extend this 5-4 Pilots lead.
And it looks like there's some action going on in the Miners bullpen. From here, it seems like number 34, Sean Hughes, will be warming up. So Cordova, I will assume, is working now with a short leash.
Yes, indeed, as it's just a run-1 ball game. So Cordova comes set from his chest. His first pitch to Oppitz is a fastball that hits the outside part of the plate, 0-1, with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Pilots with that fresh 5-4 lead, thanks to Aaron McCann a few batters ago with the RBI single. So Cordova comes set, takes a check at second. Now motions to the plate. Fastball just misses inside. The counts move to 1-1. Oppitz just in his 2nd game in the ABL, trying to make his mark known. This past spring, he batted .222 in 19 games played for Arkansas, who made it to the College World Series this past spring. So the 1-1, nice breaking pitch from Noah Cordova. He's ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Trying to get out of this 8th inning with just 1 run given up. Trying to bring the Miners heart of the order with just a 1-run deficit. So Cordova comes set. His 1-2 pitch is on the way and misses well inside. Oppitz had to scoot out of the way to miss it, so Cordova almost hitting his 2nd batter in a row as the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're here at Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners are trying to win 9 in a row at home, but the Pilots are trying to win 4 out of their last 5 on the road. So Cordova, after checking second, kicks and deals. Gets Oppitz swinging, but it's fouled left and out of play, so we'll stay at 2-2. So Cordova, this is just the 3rd time he's seen the Pilots, has only given up 1 earned run in 2 appearances. Now his 2-2 is dribbled up the middle. Moving over to his left is Drew Swift, and he'll just tap that second base bag for the 3rd out. But not before the Pilots take a 5-4 lead thanks to an RBI single from Aaron McCann, and the Miners bats will come back up here in the bottom of the 8th when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So we have a new pitcher for the Pilots and another first appearance of the season, this time coming from the shortstop, now pitcher Jordan Arruda, who will throw from the right side. He'll face the heart of this Matsu Miners order, Henson, Pinarini, and Hatcher, but he'll do it with a 5-4 lead, thanks to the Pilots tacking on one in the top of the 8th inning as they lead 5-4. We've seen a combined 17 hits in this game and obviously 9 combined runs, so a lot of offense coming tonight. And really some great relief work from this Pilots bullpen, who after their starter went out after just the first inning due to injury. They've done a great job of being resilient and really keeping this Pilots team in the ball game. But Arruda is going to be a tough first batter to face in Spencer Henson, who's 3 for 3 tonight with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. So Arruda, who looks in with sort of that Craig Kimbrell approach, his first pitch, sort of has that quick sidearm approach, is strike 1 into Henson. So Henson stands in from the right side of the plate as the Miners looking to make it 5 in a row against the Pilots. As he misses outside, the count moves to 1-1. Miners trying to win 9 in a row at home, as this is their first home game in 5 days. As Henson swinging at this one, lifts it high in the air to left field, but moving over to his left is the left fielder Braden Daniel, who makes some contact with the center fielder Chase Wells, but still makes the catch for out number 1. So that's the first time Spencer Henson's retired tonight. As Austin Pinarini steps to the dish from the left side. Pino is 2 for 3 today after getting 2 base hits in his first 2 at-bats, flew out in the 5th inning. So he has 8 hits now against the Pilots as he stands in with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Miners trailing the Pilots 5-4. Arruda's first pitch misses away, 1-0. We mentioned this is the first time Arruda's pitching all season long in a Pilots uniform. Now with sort of a new approach where he had that Craig Kimbrell approach as he misses outside 2-0. In his first at-bat to Henson, now has switched to more of just a traditional approach, but bringing the glove high above his head and then bringing it to his waist, and now pitches. And a 3rd straight ball from Arruda. Pinarini's ahead in the count, 3-0, looking for his 8th walk of the season.
Well, like you said, first time pitching on the mound. You know, he's got to figure out some kind of motion to get to the plate.
And this 3-0 barely hits the outside part. So 3-1 is the count. The Pilots have scored in the past 3 innings. In the Miners, they scored 2 in the first and then 1 in the 4th and 5th innings. Pinarini, he'll look at a ball outside, so he'll reach base with 1 out, much like they saw last inning with Drew Swift. So that's the 3rd walk of the day drawn by the Miners. And that's going to bring up the left-handed hitting Josh Hatcher, who is waiting really to break out in this game. He's 0 for 3 so far, but with Pinarini standing on first, and they're trailing 5-4, he's looking for a big hit. So Arruda, who has been pitching from the stretch all night long, now misses outside, and it seems like he's got even a new delivery in case Casey Opitz wants to have a conversation with him. I'm sure he's just going to, A, calm him down and ask B, what's going on with this whole delivery thing? And
well, like we said, I mean, this is the first time pitching in the ABL, and it looks like first time pitching in a while, so he's trying to find his motion, and, you know, a couple smiles between him and the catcher. I think they're just trying to figure this thing out. As it seems like the Pilots are short in pitching depth, so now position players are even getting out there.
It seems like only 3 guys sitting on their bullpen bench, as 1 guy is up and leaving, as Hatcher looks at a fastball on the lower edge. So Arruda now with a super traditional approach to the stretch as time is called. So now just simply coming set from the waist without any extra movement. So his 1-1. Hatcher lines it right up the middle, and none of the middle infielders will be able to get to it. And Josh Hatcher now has moved on base, and he is the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A nice piece of hitting from Josh Hatcher. That's going to bring up Nick Brooks, who is 0 for 2 tonight, reached in the 4th inning on a walk. And we saw Brooks hit a few homers over that left field wall. He's got the power. He's got the pop. Can he deliver big for the Miners in his debut? There is one out in the bottom of the 8th. The Miners trail 5-4. Tying runs on second. Go ahead on first. Hatcher, that's his first hit tonight. 8th in the season. So Brooks looking for his first hit. So Ruda, the first time pitching, gets Brooks to swing through for strike one. So Ruda has been put in a real sticky situation in his first time out on the mound. So he looks in. Brooks, after swinging through that first pitch, steps back into the box real confidently, has that tall stance from the right side. The 0-1 pitch misses low and away for a ball one. So 1-1's the count.
And, if you're just Brooks right now, try to get on base, get a hit, just keep on moving the train along.
Exactly. You're trying to rattle Aruda even more as his 1-1 is actually going to hit Brooks on his left hand. So now the bases are full for the Mat-Su Miners as they trail 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And coming up to bat for the first time tonight will be Braden Merritt, who, if you remember, came in as a defensive replacement in the 7th inning. So he's going to come up in a huge situation. There is only one out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Miners trail 5-4. And Braden Merritt going to attempt to deliver big time for the Miners. So Merritt saw action in 2 games against the Oilers. He went 2 for 6, got a hit in that first game, but an RBI in yesterday's matchup. So he'll stand in. Corners will play in for the Pilots. Middle infield's playing double play depth, and outfield is straight away. One out, bottom of the 8th inning. Miners trail 5-4. First pitch to Merritt. Misses outside for a ball, 1-0. This has been in a similar situation for the Miners. Bases loaded in a latter inning, and the Pilots walking in a lot of runs, if you remember correctly, when the Miners were on the road. As Aruda's 1-0. That misses outside, 2-0. As Braden Merritt sort of got that train going. He was the first man to walk in a run.
Well, I do remember, and same thing has to happen here. For Merritt, you got to take ball 4, or you got to get a base hit.
So Aruda, he's down on the count, 2-0. Braden Merritt lacing one into right field. Will it drop? It will not. Excellent sliding catch from Dominic Foscolina. And since it was such a low liner, Austin Pinarini will not be able to come in to score as Braden Merritt just simply hands on his head in disbelief. Excellent play, though, from Foscolina. That is certainly a run saver. But the pressure has not at all been fully relieved. As Tyler Bozzetti steps in, the Miners still have an out to work with. So Bozzetti from the right side of the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Reached on a single in the 2nd inning and a fielder's choice in the 4th. As it seems like we're going to have a mound visit here for the Pilots with 2 outs. This is a huge situation. And we're going to get a new pitcher, a left-handed reliever for the Pilots. We'll have the new man on the mound when we come back on Mat-Su Miners Radio. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. Miners have the bases loaded with 2 outs as they trail 5-4. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball.
So the man just bringing us back from break will step up to the dish. The right-hander hitting Tyler Bozzetti. He comes in a big situation, but he'll have to do it against a new pitcher in Cole Cook, who is regularly a starter for the Pilots. His past 4 appearances have been starts. So on for his second relief appearance and 6th appearance overall in the season. He comes in big moment. 2 outs, bases loaded. His Pilots are only leading by 1, 5-4. So he'll come set. The lefty, his first pitch. Bozzetti looks at a fastball for strike 1. Cook comes in those 6 appearances, 3-1 record with a 1.29 ERA and 34 in 2/3 innings pitched. Has struck out 31 and only walked 5. So the 0-1, that is chopped over to second. Coming in and making the play is the shortstop Mumper for out number 3. So the Pilots get out of a huge situation where the Miners load the bases with 1 out, but then get 2 big outs in a row to end the 8th inning. We head into this final inning of play with the Pilots leading the Miners 5-4 on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
We enter this 9th inning of play. The Pilots atop of the Miners, 5-4. The Miners loaded the bases up with 1 out, but then when back-to-back outs go, leave them all stranded. So a new pitcher on the mound for the Miners in Sean Hughes, who comes in for his 11th appearance. In 10 1/3 innings pitched, has a 1-0 record with a 5.22 ERA and has 12 strikeouts and 12 walks, but has been very efficient. In his past 7 appearances, he's only allowed 1 earned run. So Sean is definitely on an upslope as far as relief-wise, and he'll have to come in a big situation as we see the Pilots opening batter step into the dish. And Hughes looking to deliver as the Miners looking for a comeback victory. Going to be number 11, Zach Presno, step up to the plate. So Hughes from the right side will face Presno, who came into pinch hit back in the 7th inning, where he had a sac bunt. Hughes' first pitch is a big bender in for a strike, so 0-1. We saw Sean Hughes come in back on the 7th against the Oilers, where he had an inning of scoreless relief. So his second pitch is another bender in there for a strike. So he's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Zach Presno. Presno trying to give a chance for the Pilots to extend this 5-4 lead here in the 9th inning. Hughes is 0-2, another slider. This one a warm burner over to third. Backhand stop by Bozzetti. Throw across the diamond in time for out number 1. It's a nice play from Tyler Bozzetti. to get Zach Presnell.
And a great backhand play from Bassetti. He knew he had time to get up and make a strong throw. A good 5-3 put out.
As we see Chase Wells step to the dish for the Pilots. As Hughes, so a righty on lefty matchup. One down, top of the ninth inning. Miners lead 5-4. The Pilots now trying to win 4-5 on the road. As Wells thought about bunting, but pulled it back as Hughes missed outside with the fastball. So the Miners having to shake off that huge opportunity they just had and move forward. 1-0, another slider from Sean Hughes that misses low, so 2-0. Hughes from Boston College and originally hails from Williamsburg, Virginia. So his 2-0 pitch, fastball that misses high, 3-0. So Chase Wells tonight is 1 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 7th inning and got his first hit against the Miners back in the 5th inning. Wells, as we mentioned, 2 hits now in his past 14 at-bats. So Hughes delivers a fastball to move the count to 3-1 with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Between these first and 4th place teams in the ABL, Miners sitting first and the Pilots are in 4th. So Hughes is 3-1. Another fastball in for a strike, so he's worked the count full as the Miners crowd starting to give some rally behind him. So he looks in. The full count pitch is on the way. Gets Wells to swing through. Sean Hughes, after falling behind in the count 3-0, comes back with 3 straight strikes to strike out Chase Wells in out number 2 of the top of the 9th inning. Real great pitching there from Sean Hughes. That's the Miners' 5th strikeout that they've had recorded tonight. They came in 4th in strikeouts at 187, so that's total been worked up to 192. Rather, check that, 1st in strikeouts with 238. That counts now up to 242. Hughes, first pitch into Arruda, misses for a ball, so 1-0. Arruda, if you remember, coming in to pitch and then moved back to third base in the field after Cole Cook replaced him, and Hughes missing again, 2-0. Arruda with that big RBI single in the 7th to tie the game up, and the Pilots would later go to get the lead 5-4. So Hughes delivers a fastball, 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. We got a real nail biter here at Herman Brothers Field with the Pilots leading the Miners 5-4. Hughes' 2-1 pitch. That is lined down the left field line, but foul. So 2-2 now to Jordan Arruda, who's only been struck out 16 times on the season. Arruda is 2 for 4 tonight. Led this game off with the big double, came around to score the game's first run, and then had the RBI single back in the 7th. So the 2-2 from Hughes is a slider that misses inside. It almost hits Arruda, but he just got out of the way of it. So Brad Polk will now make a mound visit to ask Hughes what baseball he would choose as that ball got away from Aaron Walters.
Well, it looked like it was fouled right off the nub of the bat as Arruda tried to back away and back away from the pitch. The ball found him, and that's a foul ball.
So the count will stay at 2-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Sean Hughes looking to work a perfect inning of relief. So his 2-2 pitch, Arruda fouls it straight back. Hughes coming in to relieve Noah Cordova, who went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits with 1 run, which was earned. And that run was the go-ahead run for the Pilots and could be the winning run unless the Miners can tack on a run of their own in the bottom of the 9th. So Arruda stands back in, twists his bat, and will face the Sean Hughes pitch. The 2-2 is on its way, misses inside. The count's been worked full by Arruda. Rather, it hit him. Barely hits him on the ankles, and Arruda will now take his base to extend this top half of the 9th inning. And that's going to bring up Ryan Knowles, who's 2 for 4 tonight, has that home run that he hit back in the 6th inning. So the left-handed hitting Knowles, if he can find the sweet spot again and then throw it into where the wind's going out of right field, could really extend the lead. So runner on first for the Pilots. They lead 5-4 in the top of the 9th. So Hughes will check over. Got to be careful of Arruda with those 12 stolen bags. got caught stealing back in the 7th inning as Kyle King made the nice pickoff move. And then Henson threw down short where Swift was standing on second. So Ruda is on the move. The throw down from Walters is on time. The tag is there as well. So Jordan Aruda is caught stealing, and Sean Hughes with a fist bump as he walks off the mound, pointing at his catcher and shortstop, saying, "Thank you much." And the Miners still trail by 1. Will need 1 run to tie this thing up at 5 as they trail 5-4 heading into the bottom of the 9th inning on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
So the Miners need 1 run as they have 3 outs to play with here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They'll still face the left-handed thrower Cole Cook. We mentioned normally a regular starter for the Pilots. His only inning of relief was in his first outing where he went 3 innings against the Chinooks, but since then has been a starter, has worked a 3-run record. He'll face Swift, Walters, and Van Blake, the 9-1-2 hitters. So Swift standing in from the right side. Cook's first pitch at the bottom of the 9th, fouled straight back. He'll try to preserve this 5-4 lead as the Miners look to come back, as they did have a go-ahead hit in the 9th inning 2 games ago, thanks to Spencer Henson, as Swift looks at a breaking pitch outside 0-2. So this looks like it's going to be the 5th game that's been decided by 2 runs or less in this series. So Cook winds and delivers. Swift looks at a ball that's bouncing in the dirt. So 1-2. Drew Swift is 0 for 2 tonight. Walked in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. And then moving over to second, then caught stealing third as he swings through for the first out of the bottom of the 9th inning. As Cole Cook with a huge out right there. And that's going to bring up hot hitting Aaron Walters. His last 3 at-bats begged to defer. But back in the first inning with the double. And now is only 3 of 25 against the Pilots. So Cole Cook, lefty on lefty matchup, 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. The Miners trailing 5-4. Breaking pitch from Cole Cook. That hits the outside part of the plate, 0-1. So Walters, the lefty, we mentioned the power alley in the right field is to his advantage. As he lines one up the middle, the Miners have the tying run on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning, thanks to Aaron Walters with that base hit straight up the middle. And that's going to bring up Caleb Van Blake, who's 0 for 4 tonight, so struggling tonight as well, but has been clutch. Came into this game with 14 hits and 38 at-bats and 8 RBIs. So would like to get a hit here, or at least reach on base to bring up the dangerous Spencer Henson. So another lefty on lefty matchup for Cole Cook. So he came on in big relief last inning as he misses high with the fastball. Came on with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Ended up getting that final out as the Miners had him loaded with only 1 out. Nevertheless, we're in the 9th inning. They have the tying run on first with only 1 down. Van Blake swinging. Plops one into right field. That's going to drop in time. Walters on his way to second. He holds at second. And rounding second, Ben Taylor was waving him over. But Foscolina sort of bobbled it, so Walters may have had the chance to go into third. But he is held up at second. Nevertheless, the runner is still in scoring position at second with only 1 out.
And it looks like we'll see a pinch runner, Connor Denning, coming in for Aaron Walters. And, no offense to Walters, but Denning's a little bit faster.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Denning with some speed on him. So Denning coming in. Denning with no stolen bases yet this season, but with the speed. Nevertheless, it brings out the dangerous right-handed hitting Spencer Henson. He's 3 for 4 tonight with 2 home runs. First pitch to Henson is a breaker that hits the inside part of the plate. 0-1, 1 out. Miners trailing 5-4. The winning run's on first, tying on second. And Spencer Henson at the dish looking to deliver big. The 0-1 pitch. This one's dribbled over to the left side of the infield. Cook coming off the mound makes the strong throw to first for out number 2, but it does move. That tying run only 90 feet away now from scoring. But now the Miners down to their final out. So Austin Pinerini will step to the dish. He has 20 RBIs on the season and 2 hits tonight as well. Looks to deliver big for the Miners as that go-ahead run, or rather the winning run on second. Tying run on third. 2 outs. Cook on the mound. Pinerini at the plate. Both left-handers. We'll see who will get the better of who. As Cook comes set, his first pitch to Pinerini is looked at for a strike. 0-1. First base is open, so they choose to Pinerini. Walk Pinerini wouldn't be the end of the world. But that does bring up Josh Hatcher, who got a hit in his last at-bat. So Cook takes a step off the rubber to lick his hand, wipe it off on his pants, and now steps back on. 0-1, 2 outs, 5-4 is the score. Pilots leading. Miners trying to tie it up as Cole Cook calls time, wants to talk to his catcher, Casey Opitz. So Pino, we mentioned with those 2 hits, is 2 for 3 tonight. Flew out to center in the 5th after those 2 hits. And then the 8th drew a walk. Van Blake on second. He just had a single a few batters ago. Denning on third. He came to pinch hit for Walters, who got a 1-out single. So the 0-1 to Pinerini. He holds off as that was a breaking pitch that misses outside. The counts move to 1-1. Miners trying to get their 9th win in a row at Herman Brothers Field, but the Pilots trying to spoil that party and win 4 out of 5 on the road. So Cook comes set, his 1-1. It's looked at high by Pinerini for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Action in the Miners' pen. Nothing going on in the Pilots' pen, so it looks like they're going to ride Cook no matter what happens. As he's down the count, 2-1. He comes set from his chest. The pitch misses outside. Austin Pinerini has worked a hitter's count. And a great situation for Pinerini right now. As if Cook misses, which he might pitch around Pinerini, who's been dangerous, or if he delivers, it has to be a strike. The 3-1 swung on and missed by Austin Pinerini. Big strike there from Cole Cook as he's worked the count full to Pino. Pino does have 3 RBIs against the Pilots this season and 20 in total. So 3-2, 2 down. The Miners down to their final strike. The payoff pitch just missed outside. Everyone holding their breaths at Herman Brothers Field. Austin Pinerini works the walk, and the bases loaded. The bases are loaded now for Josh Hatcher.
So, a big moment for Josh Hatcher. He recently just got here a little less than a week ago. And for Hatcher, he can make his moment as a Miner right here and right now.
Winning run on third. And this one is bounced over to second. Grabbing it is Ryan Knowles in the throw over to first for out number 3. So the Pilots win in a tight one, 5-4 over the Miners. And that'll end the Miners' 8-game home winning streak tonight here at Herman Brothers Field. So the Pilots win this one 5-4, improved to 13-14 on the season. The Miners, with the loss, dropped to a 19-12. They will still hold the lead in the ABL over the Oilers, but will end their 8-game winning streak. And now the Pilots have won 4 out of 5 on the road. So we will have our post-game show coming up after this game with skipper Ben Taylor and our Matsu Miners player of the game. So be on the lookout for that. So the Pilots, for the final time, win tonight's contest 5-4. For Connor Mills, this is Brad Walker. And as always, it's been an absolute pleasure.